Hello and welcome to the Yarmouth Frame and Gallery. We are here today for an interview with Robert Cohen.
Hi,
Nice to
how you
have
doing?
you. Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's our pleasure. We're so happy to have you at the gallery.
Oh, great. I appreciate it.
Well, and I know you've had your own space for a really long time and you didn't need a gallery.
I didn't, but that's kind of winding down.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a studio now than a gallery, so I'm not there on a regular basis.
Oh,
much.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious about how an artist gets their start, or when did you first hear the calling? What's that story?
Well, I remember as a kid, I had a John Nagy drawing set that my mother got me when I was 7 years old, and I started going to town on it. And then I had a couple of really fantastic teachers, one in junior high school and one in high school, that went above and beyond, because I think they recognized that I was very, very interested.
Yeah.
And then, so they took a lot of extra time with me.
They saw the spark.
And my father's a musician, my brother was an architect, so it's in the family.
So that was my next question. I mean, a lot of artists struggle with either having support or not being supported. But you've already said your mother bought you the kit to get started, and you've got artists in the family.
My father's always been there for me. He's passed away now, but he was always so enthusiastic about, and when I told him I wanted to go to art school, he said, let's do it. So I graduated from, it's called Maine College of Art now.
So you've always been in the Portland area?
Born right here.
Oh, that's nice. A Mainer.
Oh yeah.
Me too. So how did you manage to juggle art and family? I know you've got a family, you've got other things you're doing.
It is quite, an undertaking. But, I've always been about working, doing the work, doing my paintings. And so whatever came along, I still found time to do my paintings.
Okay.
After I got out of art school, I worked in the airline business for a while and in management. And I learned how to manage my time and things like that, which helped me.
Yeah.
And so I exhibited in street shows for a few years and all of that business. And then I saw this gallery in Boston where this artist, the whole gallery was her work. And she was up on a raised platform painting a big flower scene. And I said, now that looks really interesting. And so I kind of started my business in 1988 that way.
Oh, so you've always combined the studio with the sales.
I have, and I've found that a lot of people can't work if there's people around or there's interruptions, but you learn to deal with that. And I found that people really like that. Especially when I was in the Old Port, people would come by on their lunch break and see the painting in progress. And then a few days later, they'd come and say, how's that painting going? They were it's like they were invested in it, and it was really, really cool.
That's really smart. Yeah, I can imagine that I know it's difficult for a lot of artists to wear all the hats.
It is, but you have to.
You do have to, if you're going to do it, in that way.
Right, unless you just want to be a Sunday painter, which is nothing wrong with that. But if it's been my business since the 80s, so.
Yeah, and it's nothing, being said I'm a gallery owner, that's what we do here. Yet, when you're out there and you're doing it on your own, it's almost better if you are doing all of that yourself. You have more control over it.
That's true. And from the painting to the framing to the sales, it's all just one guy.
So you've been doing it for how many years?
Well, I've had the gallery since 1988.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And I'm
that's
still
quite a
going
few.
at it.
Yeah, it's great. So tell us a little bit about your style and
Well, I like to work with, these paintings are all opaque watercolor. And I work in oils as well. This medium allows me to paint in a style that I call Americana. Whimsical. And not really something real serious. And so I'm able to get these really nice techniques with the color where I don't have that opportunity with transparent watercolor. I worked in transparent watercolors still today and many years, but this medium allows me to, it kind of paints a little bit like oil.
okay.
And a little bit like watercolor.
So you can layer it.
You can.
Kind of get some depth
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, and you know, when I feel like when I do my watercolor paintings, it enhances my oils. And then when I do my oils, it enhances my watercolor paintings.
Of course.
And so that way it stays fresh and fun and exciting. Because you don't want painting to be boring.
No.
You want to be excited about it.
Absolutely. And I know you have painted not just here, but in Italy. And I mean, what's that like?
Oh, fantastic. I went to Italy first just to check it out. My wife and I went on a tour. And then I went back and I studied with Jerry Fraser, who's an Italian impressionistic artist in Lake Como.
Oh, wow.
And so I painted there and I just in love with Italy. It's just artist's dream.
So you keep going back every once in a while?
I'm not able to go now, but I have been several times, and I've been to France, and especially the south of France. I really like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I've done lots and lots of paintings of Italy and France, and people seem to like them.
That's good. So do you mind telling us what the brand of paint is?
Yes, first of all, I learned in art school to use the best materials that you can afford.
This is good, yes.
And so there's no student grade.
Okay.
So I use top of the line, and I kind of mix the different, I like Holbein, and like Winsor Newton and Grumbacher and Daniel Smith, and it's well with the oils, whatever has the color I'm looking for, because they're different, and so I'll use lots of different colors.
Yeah, and you with the technique with oil, it's a little thicker for you.
It is.
And a little more, I don't know what you would call that, like almost off the canvas. There's a lot of paint.
Yeah, it's very opaque, and when I do oils, you know, I want to use a lot of paint.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it.
It is.
Yeah.
Just get right in there and stir them up on the canvas.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes a little bit of palette knife in there as well as the brush strokes. And I like to paint plein air, and when I paint plein air, I do oils because it's just it's easier. It's messier, but it's easier because I don't have to have a flat surface and all of that business.
Yeah.
I can set up my easel and do a, you know, painting in a couple hours.
That's nice. Size-wise, what are you comfortable with?
11 by 14.
Yeah.
It's the size I do.
Mm-hmm. Another question for you. Going to kind of change subjects, but I know that there are some famous people that your art is in their hands. Can you give us some of those stories?
Well, I do have, I've been blessed. When President Obama was here, the city of Portland, who are big fans of mine, I have lots of original paintings hanging in City Hall. And they come to me occasionally, and when the president was here, they bought one of the prints of Portland and the mayor presented it to him, and the governor.
Nice.
And so he has one, and President George Bush also has one. And when I was working at the airlines and doing my art part-time, I exhibited there in the airport, and John Denver came in one time.
Oh, wow.
And he saw this painting, he said, "I gotta take that one." It was pretty exciting. And then my favorite customer was Billy Joel.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was doing a
God.
concert, he was in the Old Port,
That's
and
so
he came
cool.
in and with another guy, and they had their arms loaded up with buying local things. And he had to take one home with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so much fun.
It is. Yeah. And I've been able to meet people like Steve Stills and politicians and movie stars.
Well, Portland is kind of a little hub for the famous, I think.
Yes.
Maine in general, they do like coming here.
They really do. And the Old Port has a lot to offer.
It does.
I was in the Old Port for 20 years. I'm not anymore. I'm on Congress Street now, but it was good down there.
I think when they brought the film industry and the music industry in, and they built those studios where, I mean, it's top notch, and the galleries and the restaurants really rival San Francisco and New York, and
It is pretty classy down there.
very much so. So you're in a good spot. That's good. We're really happy to have you here.
Well, I'm excited about being here, and it's close to home, so it's not too far away, and I really appreciate being here. I do. Yeah.
Well, we enjoy having you as well.
All right. Well, great.
So I don't think I've missed anything. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, except maybe I feel like a philosophy that I have about my art is I don't have to be the best painter, just the best I can be. And I've always felt about blessed because I love what I do and I do what I love. That's just great.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
Not everybody can say that, that's for sure.
No, and the ones that can, they're happier, I think.
I think so. Yeah. I can't think of the word for it, but I was watching YouTube about how to know or find your purpose. And the 5 things, it's Japanese, and you gotta love it, you've gotta be able to make money from it, you gotta be good at it,
All of that's a struggle, for sure. It's a challenge,
Right?
but,
Like going back to wearing all those hats,
I'm still at it.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and we'll keep on keeping on. If you want to see any of his work, it's always here, year-round artist, so you can pop in anytime, or the studio is still open in Congress Street, and we'll go there next and
Okay, great.
do a little video there, and you'll get a look at what that setup looks like.
Okay.
All right, off to the studio.
All right. Bye now.
Here we are on Congress Street, right next to the State Theater is Robert's Gallery Studio Space. Here we are at the front entrance, cute sign, We've got so much art here, prolific. And you can see he is set up for conversation and selling art. Not a huge space. He's making use of every inch of it. I'll leave you now with a few more works of art from Robert, and to let you know that he does make prints as well. Please leave a comment and thank you, and we'll see you next time.